We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, and the most hated man in the flat earth community. Derek, how are you today on a Saturday night? This is different.
Right?
I know, right?
Very.
But
Yeah.
I would say joined as always. However, we've never done a Saturday night show before, so joined as normally would be if we were doing this at Friday at noon. The beautiful, the beautiful mayor of Maryland, queen of Kansas City, and the future bitch of Belgium, Miss Kat Daniels. How are you today?
Wonderful. How are you?
You know what? I am doing splendidly.
Splendidly.
Yes, splendidly.
Oh. And why are you splendidly?
Because my little experiment is working out just great.
Perfect.
Yes.
What views are you at?
I mean, I'm getting ready to cross like 20,000 total views on YouTube, so I'm happy with that. I mean, the whole idea of let's piss off the flat Earth community just to make them watch and comment and help monetize my YouTube channel, because my YouTube channel isn't doing as well as my podcast is working out perfectly. And I keep telling them that I'm doing this, and yet, yeah, I mean, I keep telling them, hey, guys, I just crossed 9 million views, or 9 million downloads on my podcast, and my YouTube channel isn't taking off. I'm using you guys to help me get there. And they just keep coming back for more. It's like they just don't even care. So
Maybe they do care. Maybe they're trying to help you. Maybe they're trying to help you by being trolls that they are on the internet. Maybe
you know what? If that is their goal, it's working out perfectly. Either way, I'm having a good time with them, because it's, now it just got to the point now where I'm like, you know what? They're commenting. Like, it's like the amount of comments I'm getting on these videos is outlandish. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start some fun, and I just start trolling them right back, and it's pissing them off, and then makes them comment even more. Because on Wednesday this past week, I did an episode with another podcaster who had this same guy on his show on Monday. And so I brought him on to kind of have a conversation with him about how he felt about the whole situation, because he kind of got shit on as well, and we just had like a 2-hour-long conversation about the whole stuff, and then they started shitting on that, and it just kind of, it's been spitballing,
Right.
it's getting like, it's getting ridiculous, but like in a good way. So yeah, we can talk more about it though, because I got some other things I want to talk about. But you said you had some news too, so what's going on with you?
Why we gotta do mine first?
I just did mine. That was mine. That's what's going on with me.
So I'm moving, right, to fucking Belgium.
Yep.
And my news is basically that I'm not going to be able to do shows with you after this one.
Why? What happened?
Well, until we get to Belgium. And I'm not doing my own shows either until we get to Belgium.
Okay.
I'm just clearing my schedule, because I'm in a mind frame of like purge and clean and do. And if I I look like this today because that's what I've been doing, and I'm out of energy for anything other than purging and moving. So,
well, you can't spring something like that on me, on the show. We gotta prepare for that.
I tried. Well, sorry. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but to say.
I have a wine delivery. Sorry.
What are you drinking?
It is wine from Kentucky, and it's not raspberry. That's the Korean wine that I have in the fridge. This is, I think it's blueberry wine.
Interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
So I'm drinking Sightseer IPA from Old Ox Brewery in Ashburn, Virginia.
Nice.
It is a delicious IPA.
Delicious.
So cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, I knew you were going to eventually pause until you got to Belgium. And then we're moving the show till like, what, 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you know, my time or whatever, your time, however we're doing it. Whatever
it works out
whatever we're doing, yeah. Because we're still going to be doing it when you're over there. And it's going to be really cool to be talking about that kind of stuff when you're over there. Your adventures in Belgium.
Well, we won't be able to have any adventures when we get there because everyone's still on lockdown there.
Oh, are they? Well, either way, you can look out your window and say, oh, this is different.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it rains a lot there, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're going to get so depressed and vitamin D and weather. And I'm like, I fucking love the rain, guys. Like, we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
I'll go walking in the rain. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Zero fucks.
Well,
so.
Does tonight have to be the last one? Can we just wait until this coming Friday, do one last hurrah, and then we wait until the summer?
Nope. And let me tell you why. Let me explain to you my schedule for the next 4 months. You ready for this shit? All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So my husband leaves for a trip sometime next week, and I can't disclose when just because it's, you know, classified.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he leaves for a trip sometime next week for work. So this weekend is the only weekend that we have available starting on Friday that I have available to go put my father's ashes in the ocean per requested before he died. So that's what I'm going to be doing this Friday is driving down to North Carolina to go put my daddy in the ocean.
Why not go to like Ocean City? That's closer.
Because he specifically requested not to be put in the ocean anywhere near Maryland. He fucking hates Maryland. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, hey.
He literally said, put me anywhere in the ocean, just not Maryland. I was like, okay. And he was born and raised in like the North Carolina, South Carolina area. So it's just, you know.
I mean, hey, you know, that's cool. I mean, anywhere but Maryland. I feel him on that, you know.
Right. So that's this weekend is that we're doing. So then Jesse will be gone for a couple weeks, but during those couple weeks, I have the ability during the day to be able to purge because I'm still working with a client as well during the day. So I have to like, and then my kids are still in e-learning because they can't go back to school, God forbid, and make new friends right before we leave. So I have to juggle all that during the day.
You guys aren't on hybrid mode right now?
What? No. Well, they're supposed to be going back in April, but I'm electing to keep my kids home because they started this new school because that whole fucked up situation happened, you know?
Yeah.
And so they don't know anybody there. And we're moving like 3 months after that, 2 months after that, actually. There's no point in them going to a brand new school for 2 fucking months.
Yeah.
So they're just going to stay home and do it.
I hear you.
So, huh?
I said I hear that. That's understandable.
Yeah. So I have 2 weeks-ish, and then we're going to go to my sister's house for a week during spring break, which is going to be also for, oh wait, what month am I in? Oh yeah, we're in March now. Okay, yeah. So that'll be during the end of March, beginning of April until the 5th. We're going to get back. Then there's a potential, wait, no. I have one more interview on the 9th of April, and then like, No, I don't. Elizabeth's birthday is the 9th of April. I had to switch the meeting that I had from Friday the 9th.
Wait a minute. Ellie's birthday's on the April 9th?
No. Oh,
okay.
We're having Ellie's birthday April 9th.
Okay, well, you can't be doing that. You can't do that. You have to change it from another day.
Well, fuck you. That's not happening.
No, fuck you, because that's my 40th birthday.
I'm sorry. I can't accommodate everything.
That's my 40th birthday.
Listen, that is the only weekend that I have the ability to host her birthday party that she wants to have 3 months in advance of her birthday so that she can have it with her friends. That's the only weekend I've got left. That's
my 40th birthday.
Okay, well, if I hope you're not planning on celebrating. 'Cause I can't be there.
I kind of sort of was. I mean...
Oh, you can come to me. You want to come to a trampoline park and a glow party?
I mean, my
That
40th
sounds like
birthday
way
at a
more fun.
actually my 40th birthday at a trampoline park actually sounds kind of fucking fun.
Right? I'm saying, and it's a glow party. It's gonna be at like 7 o'clock at night. You can come drunk. You know, you might die, but you do you. It's your 40th birthday.
That's
You can
it.
cry if you want to.
My fucking 40th goddamn birthday. Uh,
So you're coming out then, right?
I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans yet for your birthday?
I'm thinking about it, what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's April 9th. That's the last day, basically, that I had to have her birthday party. So that's what we're doing. And then apparently I'm taking my niece with me from the April 5th through the 9th or 10th or something. And so I have to meet my sister halfway, either on the 10th or the 11th, to give her back so that she can go back to school. And then we're going to spend 2 weeks in Kansas City, somewhere between the 12th of April and the 30th of April, but I don't know when that is yet. We just are, because again, that's the only time that we have left to do it. And then all of May and possibly half of June, we're just not going to have things in our house. And so I'm not trying, like, I'm going to make them pack up my microphone and everything.
Are you taking your furniture with you, or are you getting new furniture when you get over there?
Well, we're taking half of our furniture with us, and then we're going to get the other half when we get there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So like as of May 1st, I'm completely checked out of everything.
All right, what we need to figure out between now and then, we need to Google this, is if it's possible for you to mail me beer from Belgium.
I think I can make that happen.
You know what I'm saying? I think I would really love some, like, genuine, straight from Belgian beer.
You know what? I have a really better idea though. Why don't you just get a passport and fly your ass to me, and then you can have fresh Belgian beer, because I feel like I can mail it to you, but it's not going to be the same.
I understand that, but you don't think at some point I'm going to fly my happy ass over there to spend time with you?
You better.
You don't think I'm going to fucking do that at some point? Shit.
That's going to be so fun.
Okay, first of all, if I'm going to, like, I'm already planning for, like, October.
Mm-hmm.
Because fucking Oktoberfest and shit. Belgium
Right.
celebrates it too, so
They do.
I already planned on coming up there or over there, up, sideways.
Over, sideways.
Now wait a minute, are we talking about this on a flat Earth map or on a real globe map? Because it depends, because it all depends on how we're looking at it here and which direction we're going.
Right.
I am gonna make a joke like that similar to on every episode for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't not help it. But yeah, I actually made a joke about something similar to that the other day. One of the commenters on my page made a snarky comment talking about how just keep denying it and keep reading your script and keep blowing smoke or whatever he said, but he mentioned keep just reading your script and living your fantasy life.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I go, a script? Did you write one for me? Is it do I play the lead? Is it a movie? I go, and I just started spouting off all these different things, and I said, just one question. Is this movie shot on a flat earth or a round earth? Because if it's a flat earth, I don't do science fiction. Yeah, he wasn't happy about that.
I bet not.
But no, it's like, regardless, I am, there's no way you're going to be able to keep me out of Belgium when you're over. Yeah. The 4 years that you're there, I'm going to spend as much time as I possibly can over there.
Sweet. Come in the spring or summer, because I hear it rains the majority of the time there.
Yeah.
Have I told you how excited I am for that, by the way? Because
we just talked about that like 5 minutes ago.
I know.
But hold on, I was about to say something really sweet.
Oh, what?
So for like the last year that you and I have been together.
Yeah.
It's a little less than a year. However, we're getting ready to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the show coming up here soon. But you and I have grown really, really close, and you've become like one of my best friends. So there's no way in hell I'm gonna not come visit you for the 4 years that you're gone. Fuck that. No way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all sentimental and smushy on you, but Yeah.
No.
I mean, there's no way you're gonna be able to keep me out of that fucking country. Like
You
I
might.
said,
You might.
I might,
You might
I might get
stay.
kicked out.
Right.
You know you're a problem if the Belgians kick you out of the fucking country.
Actually, you know what? My brother told me when I told him that it was between, because originally it was between that or like, I want to say Italy. It was between that or Italy. And he was like, oh, I think you should go to Italy because they're a lot nicer to people. Belgians are like stuck up and blah, blah, blah. And so actually, they might kick you out.
They might. Who knows?
They might, however, see like you kind of look like a Nord, like a Nordic, you know?
Yeah, I do have the that Icelandic look to me.
Yeah, so they might actually just like embrace you and be like, brother.
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, I've been wondering about that. You know, like because you had mentioned it a couple weeks back on the show when I had said I wanted to start running. I was going to run for Congress next year.
Yeah.
That I should get a DNA test, and if like, especially if I have like how much Middle Eastern I have in my blood, I could use that to my advantage.
For sure.
But like there's so many uncertainties on so many sides of my family. I've really started being curious about that. So I'm all about getting that for my birthday. Anyone wants to buy me a 23andMe or Ancestry.com, blood test or spit test for my birthday, please send it my way because I am all about it.
I would highly suggest the Ancestry one because I hear that the Ancestry one is actually more pinpointed for like where you're from DNA. Whereas 23andMe, they're like more towards the health part of it. They
Gotcha.
care more about the health than being very precise with their you know.
And plus with Ancestry, being that people have been building trees for years and years and years and years and years, you're more likely to find different people, and I'm just curious about it all. Because like I've told you before, my grandfather on my mom's side, we don't know anything about the guy.
Right.
I couldn't find him in the database of Ancestry at all. We know he's dead, but that's all we really know.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious about that. And then my grandfather's parents on my dad's side, being that they came here from Syria, there's extra levels of stuff that you have to pay for in order for them to be able to get, documentation from Syria. But on top of that, they're in a fucking civil war. The last thing they care about is ancestry. So, finding anything out like that is going to be very, very difficult to do. So, but, with the spit test and the DNA test, it'd be really cool to find out the stuff that I don't know. It's
Right.
like only my grandmother's, on my mom and my dad's side that I know anything about. And I could trace that, like I said, all the way back to this, the American Revolution.
Yeah.
But on both of my grandfather's sides, I know shit. So it's like, it's just interesting. So,
it's funny that you mentioned that. So part of the reason I also don't have any energy today is because the thing that I was purging today was like my dad's stuff, which I haven't gone through.
That's heavy.
Huh?
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone through it yet, or I hadn't gone through it yet. And I went through it today and like, I donated his clothes, and shoes and stuff like that I could. And then I kept what I wanted or needed or whatever. And so I found a box of loose pictures that he's had that I didn't know he had. And that was a trip. Like he had pictures of his parents very young with him and his older sister. And I had never seen them before. I had not ever seen my grandparents young. And it was kind of weird just to see my grandparents as like who they probably remembered themselves being, which is a whole other like fucking mind fuck in and of itself. But yeah, anyways, I was going through pictures today and found pictures of my aunt and uncle who I have never seen young. I found pictures of my dad and his first wife, whom I had never seen before ever. And it's really weird actually, because she looks like me. Like I know my mom had me, But like, clearly my dad had a type, obviously.
Yeah.
That's what's funny.
You
But
usually
yeah,
do.
huh?
I said men usually do.
Yeah, they do. So, but it was cute. I mean, I could even, it was cute and it was sad because honestly, I could see, because he had pictures of him and her together and my brother that they had together.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so happy. Like he was smiling and he didn't have a mustache. I had never seen a picture without my dad having a mustache. And he was happy. And then you like go to the pictures where he was with my mom and it was like he was just trying to be happy. Like he must have, oh man. Well, and it's not that he was trying to be happy because he was just like faking happy with her. It's just like Chris's my brother's mom must have really fucked him up. Like I don't know all the details because my dad was a very private person. He would never I knew she ran off and just left, but I don't, to this day I don't know the details, and I don't think Chris does either.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wound up hating my dad for a long time, like fucking 25 years.
Oh wow.
So almost 30. Yeah. So I don't know the details, but I could see the difference in my dad's face when he was with her and when he was with my mom, and it was two different people.
So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, especially going through it, just seeing all that stuff, for the first time and stuff like that. That's got to be heavy.
Yeah.
And then seeing, that kind of stuff right there, and then making yourself question, the stuff that you think you know or you don't know and want to know more about, which is a fantastic segue. Which you do a fantastic job every week of segueing a story into tonight's topic. I mean, or the day's topic. So, first off, I don't want to say, it's really admirable, and I know it's going to be hard, but I think you're going to do just fine going through all your dad's stuff and, doing the ashes and stuff like that. So I wish you nothing but the best with that, and just let me know how it goes, though. But with everything that I've been dealing with on a weekly basis for the last 2 or 3 weeks with this whole flat Earth conspiracy stuff, I've kind of gotten curious about certain things, and I've wanted to just talk to you about conspiracy theories in general. And like I said, it's kind of a good segue of what you were just talking about, because you can conspiracy theory all you want in your head about why your dad was like this and what happened there and why.
Oh,
and
for sure.
there's so many different elements to it all. And I was going through when I was like thinking, I'm like, what do I want to talk about tonight? What should we talk about tonight? And I was thinking about, that's what I want to do. Let's talk about that and see. I could throw that at you and see what you think. And I was like going through some, articles online and stuff like that. And I was just like, curious about like some of the most common and most popular conspiracy theories that are out there. And some of the ones that I discovered that are most popular are stuff that I've heard before. And then there's some that I have never heard of before. And then I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true. But first, I wanted to go in depth with you about some of the things that I've read today that people believe are, there's more to it. There's conspiracy theories around it. And some that are obviously like, yeah, there's something else going on there. Okay? So I kind of wanted to kind of go in depth with you about this a little bit and kind of get your opinion on some things and kind of see where we're at. I haven't talked to you about this beforehand. I didn't set you up in any which way, shape, or form. I usually don't, because I like to get your genuine reaction and kind of, do stuff with you. So I found this on insider.com. It was published last year, November of last year. And these are the 36 most popular conspiracy theories in the U.S. And when I'm done naming the 36, we're gonna breeze through them, because some of them like, I don't care, or yeah, that's true, let's just move on. There's one in particular that's supposedly popular that's missing from this list, and we'll get to that shortly. So, number one, the biggest conspiracy theory on the face of the planet, or at least in the United States, the Kennedy assassination. I mean,
Right.
was there a second gunman? Was there not? You know, was Lee Harvey Oswald hired by the CIA? Was the mob involved? I mean, there's so many other, you know, conspiracy theories surrounding it. All conspiracy theories, let's be honest, come from a point of reference. There's truth in there somewhere.
Even if it's just like minuscule.
Minuscule. But there's some element of truth to every conspiracy theory.
Sure.
Okay. And this one is honestly probably the one that holds the most weight, because there was a lot of stuff that was, you know, good about Kennedy and a lot of stuff that was bad. You know, people don't like the way he handled the Bay of Pigs invasion. People don't like the way he, you know, did other little things, you know, with, you know, how he handled communism and stuff like, you know, there's a lot of different things about him. People just didn't understand him, and there's obviously more to that story. So obviously that is a big one, and I think there's something truthful to that. Unfortunately, we'll never fucking know.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, really. And then the second biggest one is Area 51. Moving on. I mean, what's there to be said about that? People think experiments happen there with aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, is it true? Is it not true? Who fucking knows?
Right.
Okay. Then obviously the third most common one right now is QAnon, and how Trump is trying to defend the country from Democrats that are deep state cabal of satanic pedophiles and cannibals, which...
Cannibals.
Yeah, so supposedly Democrats
Protect us from the cannibals.
Democratic cannibals. All right, now this is one I never heard of before. Some people believe that a research facility in Alaska is a mind control lab. So there is a research facility, it's called the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, and this actually is in Alaska. So it's in the mountains of Alaska. It doesn't say where. In the Alaskan mountains. I mean, there are a lot of mountains in Alaska, so I don't fucking know. But people believe that the facility, so these are all true stuff. The facility sits on 33 acres of land that has over 180 antennas. The antennas have collected data about the aurora borealis, radio waves, and other atmospheric occurrences. And some people think that it's a, you know, weapons control and experimental with, you know, people's minds and stuff like that. Others believe it caused the Columbia Space Shuttle to destruct in 2003. And in 2016, however, the facility held an open house to the public to see that there was nothing dangerous going on there. But at the same time, you could say, well, they opened that up, so obviously they probably hid stuff, and they made it easy to, you know, let's go ahead and debunk it that we're a conspiracy theory place by letting everybody in, but you don't think they could hide that too. So I don't know more about this, but I think that's interesting. That this is where it kind of starts getting weird.
Where was it again?
Somewhere in Alaska.
And what did they think was going on there?
That there's a research facility that's about mind control.
Oh, there's a weather control one there.
Yeah.
Did you know that the whole you know, I thought the seeding clouds thing was a conspiracy theory?
No, it's 100% real.
I know. I just recently found that out.
But
like this year.
Yeah, but some of the stuff that they put in the clouds to make it rain can have, you know, negative effects. So not every state allows it, and that's why there's still droughts and stuff like that. It's not very environmentally sound.
Well, but my question is, how would you be able to track where the fucking cloud came from if you can just make a cloud from anywhere and make it flood? Like you can
they
cause
don't make the
natural
cloud.
disasters.
They don't make the cloud. The clouds already exist. They just put stuff in the cloud to make it rain.
Okay, so but how do you know, like, how do I know that, like, the flood that happens in Houston isn't being caused by a person or natural disaster?
You don't.
Exactly.
And that's part of. Okay, let's go ahead and spin that, because now there's that conspiracy theory going on right now in all of Texas, stating that the snow that they got wasn't real snow and it was put there by Bill Gates.
Okay. Listen, the whole burning snow thing, we've all been seeing that before. That's been a thing for many, many years.
It doesn't
we know
burn.
Snow burns.
It don't-
No, it does.
No,
it
I'm
does
saying,
if you do
but
it
it
the
doesn't.
right way.
Yes, but it burns because it doesn't melt because you have to get the internal core temperature above melting. So if you're just gonna do
you
it,
can do that with ice.
exactly. That's why. But so just doing this isn't gonna do anything with the freaking lighter, and people don't understand basic physics, and it's mind-boggling. You know, just some of the things like and this was published back in November. There's already new conspiracy theories since November, i.e.,
Oh yeah.
the Texas fucking snowstorm.
Right.
Which there's multiple different conspiracy theories around that like the new Green Deal caused all the power grids, and there's no coal, or oil in Texas anymore, and just it's like, what the hell is wrong with you people?
Right.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Or like the coronavirus isn't real. It was started by governments as population control. That's another one.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yep. And then
that one's not as stupid as it
no
could be.
Because that one's at least a possibility.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Totally.
Again, and these are
that.
Yeah. And then here's what I need the flat earthers to understand. I am not closed-minded to all conspiracy theories. Again, there is a shell of truth within all conspiracy theories. So
Yeah.
I'm open-minded to some of them. Just give me real fucking facts. But when you come at me and saying that astrology and astrophysics aren't real sciences, and we've been lied to since we were born, and all these people that aren't real scientists are telling you these things are real, I find it hard to believe. Okay.
Yep.
That's where it kind of gets a little bit queer.
Draw the line.
Yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness going on there, guys. This one doesn't really. Well, actually, there's a safeguard complex in North Dakota that was built during the Cold War, but some people think it's related to the Illuminati. Everything's always comes back to the Illuminati and the Masons, right?
Yeah.
Now here's one that I firmly believe at some point in time either was true or still is true, and they've just smartened up and know how to hide really well. Fucking Bigfoot.
Wait, you believe that it is or was true?
I believe at some point in time either Bigfoot was real or these Bigfoot, these ape-like monster bear things have now smartened up to the fact that humans are hunting them and they're just in hiding. Or it was just a giant ape or a giant bear that people thought it was a man beast. I mean, but at the same time, it's possible. We evolved from fucking monkeys. You think some of them didn't over-evolve into Bigfoot? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's possible.
You have a point, right? Because I mean, like, just like the dinosaurs, like, you know how like there are dragons in all kinds of different country, like lore and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. So we don't know what dinosaurs looked like. We're guessing with the majority of them. Honestly,
Correct.
we don't know if they had feathers or scales or what color they were or if they breathed fire or not.
Actually, new evidence is showing that they did have feathers.
Right.
At least like Velociraptor.
Some of them, but not all of them.
Correct.
Fucking alligators are still dinosaurs. We know that.
Yeah. And that's
just lived forever.
And I'm glad that you brought up dinosaurs.
Okay.
Because I'm researching more and more about other. I hate to keep bringing them up, but it just goes into show you how deep this is.
Right.
That majority of those people that shall not be named, do you know that they think that dinosaurs never existed and all of it's fake?
No, I did not know that. I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
Like,
So even dinosaurs existing was a conspiracy theory.
Wait a minute. Are they religious?
A lot of
Do
them.
they tend towards like heavy religion?
Correct, because if you go back and actually take the 5 hours that it would take to actually read all the different comments on my videos,
Right?
you would see that they talk about ancient paintings and stuff like that that told about. So it's like, okay, you believe people that didn't even have half the technology that we had 5,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago, and they're supposed to be smarter than the people that exist today.
Right.
So yeah, it's very much rooted in biblical stuff, which again I called out to my guy, 2 or 3 weeks ago, because I asked him, I go, is your belief rooted in, in a religion or in the Bible at least, not necessarily religion as a whole, but biblical? And he's like,
Yeah.
no. But then he started talking about how intelligent, we were intelligently created, and don't deny your divinity and stuff like that. So it's like, dude, you either believe in it, the Bible stuff, or you don't. You can't have it both ways. So yes,
Right.
a lot of them do believe it as a religious aspect of things, and I use the term religious loosely. I mean ancient teachings and biblical verses and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
So, but including the fact that dinosaurs never existed.
Right. Because why?
So, according to what I remember, I do not have it in front of me. I did not do any more research on this because I just heard it and I stopped dead in my tracks and said, I'm not even looking into this. So supposedly, if I remember correctly, and these people are going to call me out anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I say that or not. At one point in my interview or somebody else's interview, David had talked about the fact that in the 1800s, some dude, I can't remember his name, wrote a book about discovering dinosaurs. And up to that point, no dinosaur had ever been discovered. And then within a year, they discovered the first dinosaur. How coincidental is that? That's legitimately what he said. Or paraphrasing to some type of extent around that. But somebody wrote a book about it, and then within a year they discovered the first dinosaur. It makes your brain hurt, doesn't it?
Well, it makes my brain hurt because, like, do you know how many times that's actually happened throughout history? Like, somebody writes about it in some science fiction thing, and then we're like, oh, hey, there's an actual intergalactic fucking,
Correct. So he calls that, what did he call that?
It's like the opposite of the Mandela effect. Almost.
Like, it's like predictive mind control, or predictive, like, I can't remember, something predictive. Because he also talked about this book in the 1950s that was talking about sending rockets into space. And the guy that developed these rockets that went into space was a guy named Elon.
Was his last name Musk?
No, it's just his first name was Elon. And he thinks it's totally coincidental that happened. Because it was predictive something. I can't remember what he called it. But he thinks that's, and then he even compared one of the pictures in this book to one of the rockets that Elon put up, and saying, this looks far too, how do you expect me to believe this is real? It's like, dude, it's called coincidence.
Or even it could be more logical in that, like, they're related.
Or here's another idea. His parents really liked that book. His parents read him that book, and he said, I'm going to fucking go to space. I mean...
You're thinking. You're using your noggin.
It's like, hey, my parents named me after this really cool guy that went to space. Maybe I should
Right?
do that myself.
Right?
Do.
Who would have known?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
All right, here's one that I firmly believe is, could be possibly true. There's a giant active volcano under Yellowstone in Wyoming, and if it erupts, it could wipe out the entire U.S. We've heard that for years. That's a real thing. However, conspiracy theorists believe that the government knows when the eruption will happen. I think geologists have a good general idea of when that will happen, and they're not going to tell us.
Yeah, it's like 50 million years from now.
I understand that, but the point is, I think that they do know. So there's some element to truth to that.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
There is.
But again, how far away is it, and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, so there's, but like then here's one again from Crazy Town. There were a lot of mattress firm stores in Illinois, all within a few miles of one another, leading some to believe it was a money laundering business.
Okay. I mean, any business for that matter could be a money laundering business then.
When was the last time you've heard anybody say, oh, look at 7-Elevens. They're on every fucking corner. It's money laundering. I mean,
do you know that laundromats are one of the most profitable businesses ever? And do you know, like, there's a majority of a race that owns all the laundromats in America?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, think about it.
But it's not a conspiracy theory.
It's just fact.
But
then at
they
the same
turn
time,
it into one though.
But then at the same time, like I said, this whole mattress firm thing, I mean, it's just, again, rooted in craziness.
It's cute.
I mean, it's just funny.
It's cute.
Okay, here's another one. Again, that could be rooted in truth. Martin
Yep.
Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, but some think there's more to the story. Yes, there could be. I mean, he was a very prolific civil rights movement guy. There could be more to that story.
There probably is.
Absolutely. So I don't understand how that could be a conspiracy theory, but I get why it is. Sure. There's so many, well, I think it's this, or I think it's that. And again, they all could be right, or none of them could be right. But again, they're at least rooted in some type of legitimacy and realism. So again, that one's not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there on that one. Here's one that, again, is rooted in craziness. There have been countless sightings of a Loch Ness-like monster in Flathead Lake, Montana.
No. That didn't happen.
I'm more likely to believe Bigfoot than a Loch Ness monster type being in Montana.
Truth.
All right, here's another one. Denver International Airport is well known for a number of conspiracy theories. Again, that is very, very possible. Okay, I'm not going to go into what they may or may not.
That's all it is?
Well,
oh,
I mean, without even me looking at it,
you're the best.
Without even me looking at it, I can tell you right now. Here's the thing. It's one of the biggest airports in the country. Denver is a hub of international business. There's a lot of different connecting flights through there.
And they really made themselves a hub after they legalized pot.
Correct. So again, without even having to read this article, when I found this article earlier, all I did was scroll through and read what the conspiracy theories were, not the details of them.
Right.
Because I don't have to on this one. I don't have to on this one.
Wild Wines Blackberry Red Blend. It's yummy. You should buy it.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but it's super fucking yummy. Oh my god.
But again, it could be. I mean, because let's look at what they said. Just because I'm curious. For starters, the airport was built with a $2 billion budget, leading some to believe it has an underground structure that is either used as bunkers or headquarters for the Illuminati.
I've heard that. I mean, not about Illuminati, but like underground structure.
Again, that could be very well possible. I mean, okay.
Well, I'm from the part of Kansas where like the biggest town that's closest to us is Denver, so.
Okay, and then there's something about a horse. I don't even know, but it's just weird. Okay, so I mean,
there was like a horse. Was it that there was like a horse that lived there, or a horse statue or something?
Exactly, a horse sculpture that fell on the sculptor and killed him.
Yeah.
So I
I've heard
mean,
that one too.
and
Shit, I know things I didn't know I knew.
exactly. But again, all those things could be rooted in some type of truth. So again,
Yep.
it's okay. Again, it's okay. Here's another one.
Do you know that like one of our most racist ever national landmarks is the Mount Rushmore?
Well, funny you should say that because that's the next one. You're really good at this.
Damn, I'm good.
You're really good at this.
Right? Thank you. Thank you. You're so
Most
sweet.
people recognize Mount Rushmore, but they believe that there is that Mount Rushmore holds some big secrets.
Lots of them.
Yeah, again, very well could be.
Mm.
They're supposedly
All the land that all that sits on was stolen.
Yeah,
Like, not just regular stolen, like real bad fucking stolen though.
so many people do not know that there's a hidden chamber behind Lincoln's head. It was supposed to be called the Hall of Records.
Yeah.
And then
If you go there, they talk about it.
people say that the actual U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are actually there. Some people
I don't
believe
know
that
about
the
that.
government is hiding something incredibly secretive there, like extraterrestrial beings. Again, who knows? But there's obviously some element of truth there.
Well, that's some ish from that movie.
National Treasure, yeah.
Yeah. With
Which they
Kate.
actually mentioned in the. Others believe that there are hidden treasures in the room, an idea explored in Nicolas Cage's National Treasures Book of Secrets. You are on point today.
I'm on fire. Look at me go.
Because new conspiracy theory, psychics are real.
Huh?
I was just making a joke.
Oh.
You're showing some psychic intuition.
Oh. I had an interview recently with a psychic.
Interesting. We're gonna go into that for. I want to go into
You're
that in a minute.
friends with a psychic.
I am, but I wanted to get your opinion on it real quick.
Whew.
So hold on a second.
I'm glad I've had some wine.
I'm trying to see if there's any other ones in here.
Mhm.
But again, Jimmy Hoffa, that's a huge conspiracy theory. Where did he go? Did we find his body? Did he run? Did he die? Was he killed?
That's like Elvis Presley and,
Correct.
and who's the rapper guy?
Tupac.
Tupac. Thank you. That one.
Yeah. I mean, but the point is, conspiracy theories you're allowed to have them, and there's so many out there to believe.
Right.
Just do real research, and
Yes.
don't discount. Let's be real. The government lies to us.
Yeah.
There's
100%.
there's no denying that.
No.
But that doesn't mean everything that they tell us is a lie.
Right.
Okay? Doesn't mean that all science is a lie. Just do some real fucking research.
Pretty please.
But either way, there's so many out there. I found it really interesting because as I'm like thinking about it, like, what are some of the real? There was a lot of them that I've heard of before, but like some of them, like just like this is interesting.
Yeah. That's why conspiracy theories are a thing to begin with. Is just because even if it's not really true, it's like movies.
Yeah.
They're entertaining. So
Yeah.
the story gets told.
Yeah, the most interesting one that I've always wanted to do more research on, and I've read books and I've watched YouTube videos and I've seen movies, is the Kennedy assassination. Really does. There's so much to that. And obviously there was like a movie with what's his name? Kevin Costner. And there were some other things, documentaries, but again, they all looked at it from certain points, and I would just love to be able to actually sit down and deep dive that, because that would be a really cool thing to do.
I wouldn't do that one. I would do Honestly, I would more, because this isn't really a conspiracy theory, but it's like stories that have been told. You know what I mean? It's the whole, like, what I really want to do is play, like, you know, when you have like the cork board and you like start drawing lines and stuff like that. I want to do whatever that is with like all of the different gods and goddesses that have been told, the stories of those that have been told throughout the years.
But how would you do that? Like, what would be the point of the yarn and the pin boards?
Because there are Greek goddesses and gods, and then there are like Roman goddesses and gods, and then there's
Norse,
other, like, yeah, and then there's Norse god, and but
and then
they all
African,
have
and
commonalities.
oh, I see what you're saying. You want to find
Yeah.
the commonalities between them all,
Yeah,
and discover it for yourself. I see what
and
you're
read
saying.
between the lines.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously the two most prolific are obviously the Greek gods and then the Norse gods. So you've got Odin, and then you've got Zeus.
Hmm.
You know, and then you've
But
got
you know, I always thought that Odin and Zeus were like the first, and they were like top of the chain. But did you know that they are not?
they are not.
No, it's like chaos, and there's one above him that I can't remember his name, and then there's did you know that Zeus was actually afraid of a goddess named Nyx or Nox, however you pronounce it, depending on where you're from?
No.
You didn't know that? Oh yeah, I did some research on this because I had an idea in my head for a story, and so I did some research on this goddess named Nyx, which it's NYX or NOX, depending on again where you're from. But she's a fucking badass, dude. Oh my god.
Well, I've never really researched too much into Norse mythology or Greek mythology for that matter. I was never really
Right?
big on that kind of stuff.
No,
I,
my son actually got me into it.
I was more into, like I said, the actual what people still believe today. You know, that type of religious stuff, those types of gods and goddesses, and you know the stuff that's believed commonly today. That's where I kind of my research has taken me over the years. But I've always been curious about that because, like, you know, in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
there was and you would be surprised that I say this because I'm a big Marvel guy and I always have been, and I've never really researched Thor and Odin, you know, and Loki outside of the Marvel universe. But you'd think I would want to learn more about it, but I just never did because I love their storyline within the Marvel universe. But in 2018, I think it was when the third Thor came out. You know, the story was that Thor had a sister that nobody knew about, and she basically killed Odin and so on and so forth and took over. And I wonder if those two stories are connected in some which way, shape, or form. So now I'm curious.
What's who? Hypnos? Okay. So there's like family trees of this shit. So it goes Chaos, Gaia, Eros, and Tartaros. And then Pontos and blah 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 blah. Where's fucking
Yeah, so
Zeus?
so the sister that was supposedly there was her character name was Hela. So I don't know how Hela relates to real Norse mythology. What?
I thought I saw her name here. Hela. But it's like where did it go? No, I guess it didn't. Never mind.
Okay. But again, you know, that just, you know, that does make me want to research a little bit more because, you know, again, let's look at, you know, comic books and, you know, mythology and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, unless Stan Lee was, well, he probably was, stoned and drunk all the time, where did all these, you know, these ideas come from?
As if he wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was. He's still my greatest inspiration ever.
Well, there were lots of people who were stoned and drunk all the time that made, you know,
but again,
amazing things.
But, you know, like Iron Man, you know, that kind of stuff could be real today.
That'd be so cool. I would love Iron Man. He's probably one of my favorites.
I mean, but people legitimately have jetpacks now.
Yeah, I know.
They're real things. So Iron Man could be a real thing. But like the whole Norse mythology stuff, with Thor and Odin and stuff like that, I've always been more curious, but I just never took the time to look at it. But now that you talked about Nyx or Nox or whatever her name was, it made me go, "Oh, was that the inspiration for the Hela storyline? And is there more to it?" So now I do kind of want to look that up. So
See? Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
see, but again, that's the kind of stuff that leads people down in this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
It does.
But again, this is all stuff that doesn't really affect life in general. This is all stuff that I'm just curious
with her
about.
Brother.
Huh?
Nyx had kids with her brother.
Was it Thor?
No, it was Erebus. Erebus?
But again, back in those times, that was common.
Right. Exactly. And that's another thing that like fascinates me about it, is because like just it's a whole progression of humanity. Like back in the day, if you were a royal, you basically were required to marry within your family, whether it be a cousin or your brother or your uncle or whoever. As a female, you were required to marry within the family, or at bare minimum, someone who was like next kingdom over. And it was a property thing, and it was like there's just so many things. And so it makes sense to some degree that all of these Greek gods and goddesses and whatnot would have escapades with their brothers or uncles or whoever.
Yeah.
And then it's a mind fuck though.
It is, but again, it really kind of makes you think. And those are the types of things that make me go,
Things that make you go,
Correct. But it's like, for example, the mass shootings, school shootings, and the one that happened in Vegas, or the one that happened in Orlando, and all these different ones, like, oh, they're all government conspiracies.
Right.
Immediately, it's automatically the government. It's like,
yeah.
All right, maybe the Vegas one, because that one does seem a little bit shady to me. That guy was a pretty fucking good shot. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Okay, so here's my conspiracy theory that's in my head, honestly, 100%.
Okay.
Anytime that somebody goes and mass shoots up people or anything like that happens, mass kills people, and then they get to kill themselves, I am like, that motherfucker was hypnotized.
Well,
to do all of it.
Let's look at.
He was brainwashed or something.
Okay, well, let's look at the Pulse shooting from 2016 in Orlando. I did lose people. I lost friends, and I also had people that I knew that lost people.
Yeah.
So let's look at that one for a second, because that guy did. I think did he commit suicide, or was he killed there? I can't remember either way, but I think he did commit suicide. But the thing about it is, the dude was Muslim.
Right.
And the whole theory behind it was that he was gay and didn't want to be gay because it was against his religion. So he went there to kill a bunch of people that were gay and then killed himself in the process.
Right.
So, that one right there wouldn't be a brainwashed. Well, maybe, I guess, in a religious way. But at the same time, I don't, that one doesn't follow what you were saying.
No, yeah. When I say brainwashed, I literally mean like sleeper agent type crap. Like he got a phone call one day and somebody said a word and flipped a switch, and he was like focus mode. And it's honestly like it's people who shoot up schools, and then it's the guy in Las Vegas who did that, because it is just all too convenient. There was no letter ever left. His family didn't suspect anything. Like, it's a little too convenient.
But at the same time, let's look at our country versus other countries. We have the most lax gun laws of pretty much any country out there.
almost. So it's not
I said pretty much. I didn't.
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
did.
I didn't say we have the most lax.
Right.
No.
True.
Pretty much. Without going and looking at every single gun law in every single country, I'm not going to be able to definitively say that. I'm just saying we have one of the most lax. For all I know, Russia could be more lax than us. I don't know. But
I think like Colombia is probably more lax.
probably. I don't know. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you look at this kind of stuff historically, we do have pretty lax gun laws. What are you gonna say?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially compared to people who like South Korea, they don't have guns. Period.
Yeah.
They don't.
But then same thing with Australia.
Mm.
You know,
Australia doesn't have guns.
they got very strict gun laws. They had one mass shooting that I can recall, and as soon as they did that, they went fucking batshit crazy with laws.
Which makes sense, I might add.
Correct. You know, look at Canada, our neighbors to the Great White North. When was the last time you heard about a mass shooting up there?
I don't think I have.
Exactly. So the thing about it is, you know, Mexico, obviously a much different situation. Okay. I don't know about their gun laws. I just know that it's run by the fucking mob down there. I mean, what the mob or the cartels and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is the whole idea that we have such lax gun laws and we have the NRA up the fucking government's ass, you know, it's well within reason to believe that these mass shootings are legit because so many fucking people have access to guns that they don't have in other countries, and that's why other countries don't have these issues. Yeah, like I can think of a handful of ones that happened in other countries. Like France had one. I know of Australia's one.
Do you know that Canada's last major shooting was in 2020?
But have they ever had a mass shooting?
I just said that was their mass shooting.
Like how many people were killed?
I think so. There's a thing here that says dead/injured/captives. But the problem with that is that they just have 22/3.
Okay,
so I don't know. Oh, killing 13 with firearms and 9 in fires and injuring 3 others. So they killed a total of 22 people.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
9 of them were in fires.
It actually happened between April 18th and April 19th in 2020.
Right, but it says it was multiple locations.
It said Gabriel Wortman committed multiple shootings and set fires at 16 locations. So he set fires at 16 locations. I don't know how many shootings he actually did.
That's a lot of locations.
Yeah.
How do you let somebody set fires to 16 locations before you catch them?
Again,
what?
That's why conspiracy theories exist.
Right.
Because that's a genuine question. I'm now curious. Who obviously was there more people?
How do you not catch them after the 3rd, 4th, 5th?
And it took place over 2 fucking
7th?
days.
Like that's a lot.
But again, it took place over 2 fucking days.
It did.
I'm really curious about that. But again, you know, how many mass shootings has Canada had? They had one in 2020. Okay, cool.
2018, 2017, 2006, 1996, 1992, 89, 85, 69, 85, 1885, 1880, so like in the last 100 years though, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the last 100 years. Do you know how many America's had in the last 100 years?
More than I have fingers and toes.
We had a civil war during that time.
Well,
I'm just kidding. We didn't.
No, we didn't. That was 150 years ago, but
close enough.
But either way,
you know how many Canada's had in the last 200 years? Then let's go back that far.
I don't think they weren't a country that
they were. No, they were.
They were a province at that point.
So the first mass death or something was in 1689.
Okay.
That was recorded there.
There was mass deaths at that time here in the States of fucking, Native Americans and shit. But I digress. My point is, is there some element of truth that could some of them be government hit jobs? Yes.
I think so.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But not all of them.
Bro, so like that list was on Wikipedia. Do you know that the American shootings, they only go back to 1949?
That's a problem.
That's how many we've had in like 50 years.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
70 years.
70
Sorry.
years, but yeah. But still.
So...
Again, that goes back to the whole point of quit bitching about your Second Amendment rights. That was to form a militia. We don't need to form a militia nowadays unless you're storming the Capitol. But
you shouldn't need to form one, period.
Yeah, but
because we don't storm the Capitol, we protest. That's what we do.
but they stormed the fucking Capitol. But the point is, you know, they use the excuse of, well, they'll get guns illegally. Okay, they get guns illegally now.
And they do.
So now all we're doing is doubling the chances of them having an opportunity. They try to go get one illegally, and then when they can't, they go out and get one illegally. So you're just doubling the chances of them being able to get a gun. However, if you cut down on the amount of legal guns in this country, the amount of illegal guns will automatically come down as well.
Pew, pew.
It's not that difficult to fucking figure out. The math is there, people. The math is there. You know, let's just take the guns. Fuck it.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we don't need them. If not even, okay, so let's say we take all of the guns and not even police are allowed to have guns. We have no problems. We have no gun problems.
Again, there would still be some illegal guns that make it into the country.
No, I don't know. South Korea's doing a pretty good job of keeping them out. But South Korea is basically an island, or at a bare minimum a peninsula that has to go through North Korea and then has to go through China. Like, I get South Korea is a completely different position than we're in.
North Korea is not real.
But like, it's real hard to shove a gun up your ass. I'm just saying.
North Korea is not real.
Well, okay, then China. For you flat earthers.
Yeah. Or just conspiracy theorists in general. But the thing about it is, what boggles my mind is that when these conspiracy theorists get on their rabbit hole, how many conspiracies they begin to believe. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one. There's never just one. There's so many. And
ooh, how do you feel about aliens? You were going to ask me how I felt about something earlier, and I don't remember what it was because now I'm a little bit tipsy. But how do you feel about aliens? Yeah.
I believe that aliens are real and they could be fucking here right now.
I wish they would.
They very well could fucking be. We don't fucking know. If they made it here, obviously their technology is way more sophisticated than we are, and they could be walking around looking just like us, and we never fucking would know. Because
Did you read the CIA documents that they declassified recently?
You know, I've been meaning to, but I have not.
Yeah, I haven't read the whole thing. It's a lot of boring shit. So I haven't read the whole thing, honestly. But I've read like Cliff Notes versions type thing. And it's they did some experiments with like meditating and like hypnotism and like basically proved that we're living in a projection or some shit. I can't really wrap my head around it, honestly.
Well, the thing about it is, let's say they've been declassified for months and they've been out for a while. If something major was discovered already in those documents, it would have made major news.
Well, here's my deal. They just declassified the process. They didn't declassify what they found when doing the process. You know?
Yeah. Hold on. We got a comment about the gun control stuff.
Oh.
It's not. Oh, hold on. It's not bad. It's not the government, but it is a shadow government, communist infiltration. Ask Australia how gun control worked for them. Again, we're not saying gun control. We're not talking about that in general. We were just making jokes about it. We were just making jokes about it. But what I'm saying is,
He said, "Fuck it, take all the guns."
I was making a joke. But what I'm saying is, what was I was going somewhere with this. Hold on.
I'm sorry, you weren't saying all the guns.
No, I was just making a joke. But my point is, with the amount of mass shootings that we have in this country, our lax gun laws are to blame in some which way, shape, or form. Now, again, I already said some of them could be government conspiracies, shadow governments, whatever you want to say, but not all of them. And that was what I was trying to say. So we cut down on the amount of guns in this country, the illegal guns will go away as well. That's all I'm saying. And that's just basic math. I'm not saying we should do that
Correct.
or shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that's basic math.
Yeah.
If you take away
And
legal guns, the amount of illegal guns go away as well. That's
True.
just simple math.
I think, and personally, the sole reason that I was afraid to have guns taken away is because in our Constitution, the whole purpose of being able to have guns is so that if the government is ever taken over for any reason, we can defend ourselves against them, which makes sense.
Or
I
if
get
the
that.
government ever tries to be tyrannical, we could overthrow them.
Right.
Correct.
But my thing is that if we take all guns away and everyone is evenly matched and the government doesn't have any guns either, then we're evenly matched and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But then at the same time, there's other countries that do have guns, and there's other there's too many complications behind that.
What? Okay, hold on. I'm not saying take them away from the military that goes on foreign soil where they have guns. I'm saying take them away from Americans, including police and National Guard. National Guard doesn't need them if nobody else has guns.
But again, what I'm saying is there would still be illegal guns. So we would still have to need a way.
Okay, but do you realize that the difference between legal, like, if we took away all guns, there might be like 50 guns. Like, let's say there's like one per state. One guy per state that's like, fuck it all. I don't care. I'm going to get guns. I'm going to get like 10 guns because it's hard to smuggle this shit in.
But at the same time, we could also 3D print guns. It's impossible to do. It's impossible to do. So we just need to have.
You're right. With 3D technology, it makes it a smidge more difficult.
But what I'm saying is, there just needs to be stricter gun laws. Period.
I concur.
That's all I'm saying. And again, the whole idea behind mass shootings would be, the less legal guns, the less illegal guns. That's all I'm really trying to say.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all. I'm not trying to say that we need, to take away. No, that's impossible. It's impossible. Especially.
I haven't shown you my pretty nails.
I see them. They're actually really nice.
Right. Like, look at the silver.
That's actually pretty
Right?
cool. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
And plus, what I was saying too is, there's legitimate people out there that have guns just for hunting, or there's legitimately good people out there with guns. So again, I don't think that's necessary.
I do have a question. What do countries, so like one of the reasons that we allow hunting in our country, like fervently, is for, quote unquote, population control. And it works. It legitimately works. Like, I agree. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
what do
deers would
other
take
countries
over.
do?
That allows hunting? I know, like, England does.
No. What?
Like, you talking about hunting or what? Like, what are you talking about?
Do they just not do hunting, or do they do like bow hunting?
Some places do bow hunting, some places do gun hunting. But some places only allow guns for sport. They don't allow handguns.
But I'm talking about countries that don't do guns.
I'd have to do more research on that. I don't know the answer.
I don't know either.
I know there's some countries that only allow shotguns for sport.
Yeah.
I know that's.
Well,
I
I was thinking maybe one of our listeners or viewers might know.
Well, we'll probably get an email or a comment at some point in time. But my point is, I don't know the answer to that question.
I got you. So, I'm gonna pour the rest of this in my glass, but I'm
Drunk
fading
cat.
fast. So I'm gonna need you to ask me the question about psychics.
So what do you
before
feel?
I get too drunk to answer it.
Okay, so what do you feel about psychics?
Do you remember that We've never had this conversation.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
I talked to you a little bit after the fact when I talked to him my friend, but I don't think we talked
no.
in depth.
No, do you remember that conversation that we had with David?
David who?
Smalley.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you remember this or not, but do you remember when I said during that conversation that some scary stuff happened or whatever when I was younger and I didn't know what to make of it, and so I just like shut all doors?
Correct.
Yeah. So okay, but your question is psychics. I believe in psychics. I believe psychics can do things. And if they say they can do things, that's fine. My thing is, there are psychics who have the ability to do things because they have a ability to do things that they don't really completely understand. And then there are psychics who have the ability to do things that they completely understand. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Okay.
You do?
Yeah.
Because that's real rough. Okay.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So I don't believe in the psychics who know what they're doing. There is a certain kind of psychic who will take advantage of people and they know what they're doing.
But
yes.
That's just a straight up charlatan. I don't know if they actually have the ability or not. I do believe that there are some that have the ability that know how to that are real out there.
Absolutely.
And they know how to control it.
Yeah, but I don't think that those people are very well known. I think the people who are very well known are people who have the it is a gift to know people so well that, like, as a species, that upon meeting them you can guess certain things about them or know even certain things about them. That is a gift wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And should be used to this full extent. But there are some people who abuse it, and that
Correct.
I don't agree with.
Well, like, let's say, for instance, my guy, William Constantine. You know, he's pretty well known in the psychic community. He's pretty prolific. I do believe he's legit. And I do believe he made a good wage and a good life, because of his gift. Do I think he takes advantage of people? No. Do I think he did it? He got to the point where he got to the point where he's at now on purpose? Absolutely. Because and you and I talked to him, so you and I know his backstory a little bit too. Because remember, we had him on the Monday show that we used to do.
I know. I remember.
But like, he was raped and abused as a child. He went through a lot. He uses his gift to help others. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's, I have this gift, I want to be a millionaire. No, he was like, you know what? I went through a fucking lot as a kid. Let me help other people through my gift. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where the difference is.
All right, so I'm drunk enough to tell you this. And I've never met this person in person, so I can't say for sure.
Okay.
But I am 99.9% certain that it was because of the things that he went through that he's able to read people so keenly, and he's using that to his ability. And there's nothing wrong with that. The difference, I believe, is that he's doing it to provide comfort to people, whereas I believe other psychics do it because they're given an ability versus producing an ability.
All right, so I'm going to tell you something I haven't told you yet, but I've told other people. This guy he lives in California, okay?
Right.
He has an innate ability to know when I'm down.
Yeah.
So, like, every time I'm having a depressed day, I might not post. I don't, cause I don't post about it on Instagram every day or every time I'm having a depressed day. That would get, okay, Derek, you're looking for attention. I'm not doing that. Okay. I post when I'm having really, really bad days to let other people know that, hey, you know, this exists. But whenever I'm having a bad day, I might not have heard from him a week or two. He just sends me a motivational message when I'm having that bad day. Okay. The day Christina told me she wanted a divorce, within 10 minutes, he sent me a text message. You know, that was very, very coincidental. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? With the motivational message that he said was like, holy fuck, how did he even know this? Me and her are still in the middle of a conversation, and I took the time to look at his message for a second, and I was like, what the fuck? And that's happened with me multiple times with this man.
Right.
And I even went in with him very skeptical. Which, by the way, Flat Earthers, shows you I'm not close-minded because I now believe at least in him. To a degree. I still have some level of skepticism because it's always healthy to have skepticism.
Sure.
But there's a lot of evidence to the contrary.
I think that he has the ability to feel people's energy 100%. I agree with you. 2,000,
3,000 miles away. However far away California is from us.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's necessarily...
If it happened only once or twice, coincidence. But it's happened multiple times.
I guess maybe... I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to explore myself, how I feel about it, I guess. Because I genuinely... I don't know if it's not necessarily guided by intent, because I don't believe that he has false or bad intent.
None at all, yeah.
I just know... I know where his gift comes from, I guess. And I understand that to a degree because...
But let's say, for instance, his gift does come from that. But let's say, for instance, okay, let's go ahead and go way out on a limb here, okay? And go against everything that you and I believe, just for one moment.
Sure.
But say, for instance...
Totally here for that.
But let's say, for instance, the spirits, God, angels, whatever...
Yeah.
Came to him and said, hey, you know what? Because of everything you've been through, you've earned this gift. And they touched him with it. So extension of what you're saying, he has that gift because of the things he went through. But let's say, for instance, the spirits came to him and said the exact same thing and gifted him with even more. You know what I'm saying? Let's just play on the fact that if we believed in that type of stuff, that could be possible. You follow what I'm saying?
I follow what you're saying. Yes. If we believed... Yeah.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of craziness. It's not flat Earth.
I mean, it's all in psychic. Psychics in general are in the realm of craziness.
But at the same time... The human brain and the energy that we emit as humans, whether it's divine, whether it's just straight up innate ability, is still, it's as known as how deep the ocean is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We learn stuff about our brain every day. The amount of energy that we can put off. You know, like, for example... the 150-pound man that's able to lift a fucking car because it's squishing a baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and we don't even know, like, we don't understand. We have no idea. Why are we the only sentient beings that are on the one planet that we're on? Why are we the only ones?
But the religious people will say, well, that was God doing his will.
Right. So,
but
like,
science says that there's no way, there's no way that we're the only ones.
Right. And even still, it amazes me that, like that's speculation. We have no proof of that. We have no proof that
We have no proof either way.
Exactly.
So believing that there isn't is just straight arrogance.
Precisely.
And that's the point. That's the biggest point here, is that it's sheer arrogance. To think that you know all just because of a book or because of something that you were told. You know what I'm saying? It goes
Play
back.
a game with me.
Okay.
What if we're so I heard an analogy one time that was like, you know how ants live in their ant hills and they can't really see beyond a certain parameter, right? Because they have to stay near their ant hills or whatever.
Correct.
They can't see beyond the curb. So they have no idea what's beyond the curb. What if we're fucking ants on a curb?
Well, we'll look at here's expanding on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at both, or actually at least two of them, because the third one didn't do it. But or maybe it did. Men in Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So the first one was the marble thing. And then
Right.
the second one was that we were living in a train station locker, and they open up the door to see a bigger world outside that door. But I'm a firm believer in one of the theories of string theory, which is an element of physics,
Science, whatever, yeah.
that says that there's multiple dimensions, the multiple dimensional theory. You know what I'm saying? That I believe.
What do you mean by dimensions?
That there are multiple universes occupying the exact same space right now. So in another universe right now, on another planet Earth, let's just call it Earth 2.
Yeah, 2.0. There's another you and another me, and we have a show, but it's not this.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then on Earth 3, there's another version, but this time
We
don't know each other at all. And neither one of us are podcasters. And then there's a fourth version where you and I are married. And then there's a fifth version where I'm black and you're Hispanic. And then there's another version where we're fucking robots. And you know what I'm saying?
That fucks me up.
There's so many other layers. String theory, you know, whether it's crazy sounding or not, there's levels to it. You know, there's even theories out there that in 2012, when the God particle happened at CERN at the Super Collider in Switzerland, that they actually opened up a black hole and swallowed us in right now, and we've dissolved, and we just don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, but again, that's based in.
And it's gonna take us like 100 million years for our sun to implode inside the black hole. Like, bro.
Correct. So, as right now, our universe could have been sucked into this black hole because CERN created it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. You know, there's also a conspiracy theory out there right now. We talked about this earlier this year, that we actually slipped into a different dimension when 2021 happened because there was 1 minute of gap between things that happened. You know, there's all these things have some type of.
There was a movie about time, and it was a guy and a girl, and like they kept, like, the Bureau, is that what it was called? The Bureau kept trying to intervene in them meeting, but they kept meeting like in all these different realities, and then they had to go back through time. Oh God, that's gonna drive me crazy. I gotta find the name.
I've never heard of this movie.
You've got to watch it. The Adjustment Bureau.
I'll have to look that up and see if I can find it.
You've had to have seen this movie. It's got a big name actor in it. Guy. What's his name? It's got Matt Damon and Emily Blunt in it.
If I saw it once and I don't remember it.
I know. Damn it. Anyways, it's a good movie.
Well, the only other one that I could think of that is similar to that in any which way, shape, or form is that movie with Ashton Kutcher at Butterfly Effect. You ever see that one? That
No,
one.
this one was definitely the Adjustment Bureau.
No, I'm saying, but like, kind of the same idea.
Okay, so in chaos theory, the butterfly effect is a sensitive dependence on initial conditions in which a small change. Oh God, that's like the it's like when if you go forward in time and you see or if you go backwards in time and you see your grandpa, like there's a grandpa thing.
Yeah, but the butterfly effect isn't real.
What?
Because if you go back in time, that past becomes now your future. And you can't affect, and the present becomes now your past. And you can't now affect that past by what is now your future.
Yeah, like it changes as you go.
Correct. So the two don't coincide at all. See, there's no such thing as a butterfly effect.
Right.
If you did actually go back in time, if we could do that,
it would have to be like one of those. It would have to be like one of those multiple dimension things where
Correct.
you went back in time in a certain dimension.
Because if I went back in time right now and told myself, hey, play these numbers on this date, I wouldn't go back in time to the future now, which is now my future,
now.
and walk into having $100 million. That wouldn't happen.
Right.
But the Derek that I just talked to, he's now rich, and I will never ever know him because I just created another. I would have never known him.
Never ever knew him.
But I would have never been me. I would remember talking to him. Yeah. Just like
so the butterfly effect has Ashton Kutcher in it.
Correct. That's why I said that. But again,
okay, is afflicted with headaches. Have I seen this?
You probably have.
I don't think I've seen this. So painful that he frequently blacks out. While unconscious, Evan is able to travel back in time to difficult moments in his childhood. He can also alter the past. So that sounds like the stuff that they were talking about in the CIA documents where like they get hypnotized and can do stuff.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but there's so many opportunity there for some type of belief.
Yeah.
But again, it's all rooted in science and fact.
I think all movies are also rooted in fact to some degree.
I agree.
Like, Jason Bourne type movies, like all of it.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't just come from nowhere. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, once you and your husband isn't, so you won't be able to attest to this 100%. But once you reach Green Beret, black ops, Navy SEAL type shit, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Even CIA level intelligence. There's a lot of stuff that we just are not privy to.
And I don't want to be.
For all we fucking know is that they really are working on a super soldier serum like Captain America right now. They're
not working on super soldier serums. They're working on robots.
But I'm saying that could be a possibility. We don't know. You don't know if they're working on super soldier serum.
I know if they're working on robots, and that's basically super soldier serum.
But at the same time, they could be working on both. One could be a black fucking site situation. How do you know? Have you talked to every government official?
No, but they've released documents on how they did do experiments on soldiers, and that's a thing that they tried, but it didn't work. So now they're just working with robots.
But now it's 2021. Technology
and they're
changed.
Working with robots because they realize if we work with robots, then we don't have to kill people. We can just kill robots.
But again, it's the government. They don't give a fuck if they kill people.
Do you think that the military is population control?
How so?
Because they don't care if they kill them. They made this huge big deal about joining the military and serving your country for so long and dying with honor and glory and blah, 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 blah.
I don't know if it's necessarily population control, but it is dime a dozen.
We entered into a war in 2001 that
well, I don't know necessarily that it's population control.
The intel that we had, we didn't double check.
Correct.
We didn't know.
But what I'm saying is, again, I don't know if it's necessarily population control so much as it is, you know, if you die, there's somebody to replace you.
But I mean, if they kill them off intentionally by sending them to a country where they know they're going to be either shot at or blown up.
I don't think it's intentional. I just think they just don't care if they do or don't. Because
that's
again,
what I'm saying, though.
But again, I don't think it's necessarily a population control thing. I think it's just a, hey, you know what? We're one of the easiest career jobs that you can get. As long as you pass this fucking physical, you have a job for life. So you know what? As long as we continue to have this easy of an entrance, if somebody else dies, if somebody dies, there's somebody to replace them. And if they die, there's somebody to replace them. If they die, there's somebody to replace them. I think it's just an I don't care attitude. That's all it is.
So what would you consider population control, though?
Coronavirus. I don't know. There's so many other things that we don't know about. For all we know, again, AIDS could be population control. Cancer could be population control.
Cancer could be.
You know what I'm saying? But there's again, there's too many anomalies going on there to where we would ever really know.
Yeah. Valid.
Yeah.
I'm drunk now.
I know you are.
I'm tired.
But I think just saying what I just said is a good way to sum it up. There's too many to know for sure.
Well, I think that's the point, though. There's too many conspiracy theories, too, and too many options, too many possibilities to know whether anything we believe is really sure or not.
Correct. But I think at the end of the day, you cannot discount anything.
I don't know about anything.
Again, because there's truths in everything. You have to find that truth. But like, here's an example, and I'm going to bring it up again because it's the most valid one and
that's why I want to take all the Greek and Nordic god and goddesses and find the commonality.
But like, okay, so let's say we'll wrap it up with this. Going back to the flat Earth stuff, the fact that they say that science isn't real, pretty much, and I'm summing it up because it's astrology and astrophysics and rocket science and blah, blah, blah. They say that those aren't real sciences.
Yeah.
To completely negate all of that. And then to go as far as say that all governments are in on it and we've never been to space, and discounting all of that is my point. There's elements of truth in all of that. Have we been to space as many times as we said we have? Maybe.
Probably.
NASA lies. We don't know what they're telling us is true or not.
NASA lies?
Of course they do. They're a government entity.
What do they lie about?
We don't know. That's the point. But again, there's some truth to that. It's a government entity. But again, to discount everything as a lie, like they do, is my point. Because there's elements of truth in all of it. Just like there's elements of truths in their experiments that they've done that prove the Earth is flat. There's some elements of truth to their things, but it's not about what they've done. It's what they discount. My problem is what they discount. You follow what I'm saying? Because all their things that they've done could prove that they're right, but they're also discounting everything else that proves they're wrong without even giving it a second thought.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I have the problem.
Valid.
So with that said, this show is on hiatus until the summer.
Sorry.
It's not,
until September, August, September.
It's still summer.
Yeah.
But it's not over. And who knows, maybe you'll have a free day and we'll be able to do a one-off. Maybe.
After I move.
I said maybe.
Yeah.
But
after I move, that's fine. Maybe.
Correct.
Because I still have to unpack and get settled and breathe.
But either way, we'll do a one-off, and then maybe in October we'll do one live together from Belgium together in Oktoberfest.
Yes!
Either way, Sunken Podcast isn't going anywhere.
No.
But Teachable Soul Podcast is taking a hiatus, and this happy hour, coffee break, Friday afternoon show is going to go on hiatus for a bit, but we will always be back. And I will be back on Monday with another edition of News That Doesn't Suck and a new edition of Suck It Podcast Monday night.
What was that?
I said new edition of News That Doesn't Suck on Monday morning, and then a new edition of Suck It Podcast Monday night.
Oh, I thought you said Fuck It Podcast.
No,
Like, did you change the name?
no, it's still Suck It Podcast. It always will be.
I know.
But you know what? Just real quick, I love how the flat earthers are using my show name against me. No, Derek, you can suck it, or you suck, and this show sucks. And come on, guys, be original. Come on.
Yes.
Please try.
No.
Try
Tell them
harder.
yes. Yes, I will. I will suck it. Thank you.
But you know, try harder. Come on. If you're going to insult a comedian, please try harder.
Ayo.
Ayo. But again, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We will be back sometime in the future, but I will be back because I ain't going anywhere. I ain't moving to Belgium. But I'll be back Monday. So until then, we love you guys. We will talk at you soon. Stay happy. Stay healthy. And as always, stay heavy.
Stay
You have any
wealthy
closing?
and wise.
Do you have any closing words there, Kat?
Stay wealthy and wise.
Stay wealthy and wise. Until
Love
later.
y'all.
Love
Bye.
y'all. Peace. All right.